Welcome to the Wild Crone Wisdom podcast with your host Vinutha Mohan. In this episode, we explore the fact that life is a wave, a mixed bag of positive and painful experiences. How can we develop a higher level of distress tolerance to surf the waves of life? Have you ever felt like life should keep moving upward like a straight line, constantly improving without setbacks? I used to feel the same way. But one simple lesson from Pilates completely changed my view on progress, healing, and life itself. A few years ago, I was suffering from plantar fasciitis. The pain was severe and I could barely place my feet on the ground. As part of my treatment, I enrolled in Pilates for core strengthening. The rehabilitation was slow and painful. My body and my abilities would be all over the place each session. My Pilates teacher was a wonderful and kind young woman. She had this firm yet gentle way of keeping me focused. Very often, I would complain and whine to her about how my body seemed to have a mind of its own. It was not cooperating. It was not healing fast enough. I seemed to be progressing and regressing at the same time. I was angry at my body, ashamed of it, frustrated with it. One day, my trainer told me, Vinutha, your body is a wave. It's not a straight line shooting up. I was stunned by this revelation. I never forgot that lesson and have since shared that story with so many of my clients. I took that lesson and generalized it to all parts of my life. Life is a wave. Our bodies, minds, experiences, emotions, spirituality, finances, relationships, they're all little waves rising and falling from the ocean of life. I realized that one sign of life, our heart rates, also show up as waves. If it's a straight line, well, that means we are dead, flatlined. How metaphorical is that? So if life is a wave, then the only thing to watch out for is to make sure that we don't experience constant tsunamis and earthquakes. That would cause quite the wear and tear on our bodies and minds. It would be lovely to have those gentle waves instead. I have to remind myself of this truth so many times a day. We all suffer from our brain's habitual tendencies of constantly commenting on our experiences all day long. It's like Judge Judy moved in with us permanently and doesn't take a break. I also find that many of us walk around with a sense of entitlement, that somehow the universe owes us something. Life is supposed to be a straight line shooting up. How dare life disappoint us? Of course, the younger you are, the more you may tend to feel this way. It's also more prevalent in those of us that have been graced with a lot of earthly success. You might think that so much grace would pave the way to gratitude. However, I have mostly seen that it paves the way to more entitlement. Such is the human condition. Behavioral research backs this up. Studies show that life is a mix of painful and pleasurable experiences, and the ratio is roughly 50-50. Life is a wave. In therapy, I often remind my clients of this reality. It is important to look at life as a holographic system. It's multidimensional, and growth and healing come in waves. Sometimes it is important to step back and take a look at life in totality, to look at larger data sets than just a day-by-day comparison. To step back and ask yourself, where was I a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago? Sometimes I have to remind my clients of this and show them how far they have come, especially on days where they feel a large dip in their well-being. It's like how a financial manager would ask you to view the stock market, not on a day-to-day basis, but over years of progress. We need to remind ourselves constantly that we are doing the best we can on a daily basis, and our best will differ from day to day, morning to evening, sometimes hour by hour. We will do ourselves a huge favor if we stop shaming and blaming ourselves for it, and if we don't constantly judge ourselves harshly in the false belief that somehow this will motivate us to do better. Many of my clients have a strong belief that such harsh judgment has served them well, that it contributed to their success in life. I then ask them, how would it feel to work for a boss who calls you in every morning to let you know how you have disappointed them in all the big and small ways? Would that motivate you to do your best? Or would you feel depleted, unmotivated, and depressed over a period of time? When I put forth my arguments in that way, many of them respond that they would feel unmotivated and have had painful experiences with bosses like that. The same thing is then also true of your inner critic. Over time, such harsh narratives will deplete you at a cellular level and cause dis-ease of the mind and body. A gentle, kind, and yet firm voice is needed to motivate us in the long run, like that of my Pilates teacher. Every session, her first question would be, where is your body today? An open-ended curiosity, an objective evaluation, no shame, no blame, no judgment. Let the body guide you. Be gentle with it, and by the end of the session, every single time, my muscles would open up, relax, feel stronger, feel flexible, and my mind would follow suit. So now I apply it to all aspects of my life. Where are we today, beloved mind, body, heart, gut, spirit? I check in without judgment, without expecting a straight line of improvement. Life is a wave. It's not a straight line shooting up. And that's okay. The ups and downs are what makes us human. So the next time you find yourself feeling frustrated or stuck, take a step back. Ask yourself, where am I today? And be kind to yourself as you ride the waves of life. Remember, progress may not always be visible, but it's always happening. Let's aim for those gentle waves and make peace with the rise and fall of life. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wild Crone Wisdom with your host Vinutha Mohan. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist from the Bay Area, California, specializing in trauma and attachment repair. I'm also a certified EMDR specialist and a certified shamanic practitioner. In this podcast series, we delve into the journey of our spiritual essence having a human experience. While many social scientists study human emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, and others explore transcendental experiences, few bridge the gap to help embody the spiritual wisdom in everyday life. I call this the psycho-spiritual path. Through this podcast, I hope to share bite-sized practical insights for navigating life as an empowered sovereign being. If you found this episode valuable, we'd greatly appreciate your support. Please consider rating, reviewing, commenting, and subscribing on your podcast platform to help us reach a wider audience. You can explore more of my writings on Medium by following the link in the show notes. We'd also love to hear about your experience, so feel free to share your thoughts with us at Wild Crone Wisdom Podcast at gmail.com. Thank you for being part of our journey. Please be advised, the information provided in the Wild Crone Wisdom Podcast is intended for general information purposes only. Vinutha Mohan is a licensed therapist and healer. However, the content shared in this podcast does not replace or constitute professional advice, therapy, or counseling. It is essential to consult with a qualified mental health professional for personalized guidance regarding your unique circumstances. Thank you.